Apple raisin pork roast made magic. So I was thinking to myself that I wanted something that could reasonably be done as a Christmas dinner if you're having like a very small party. So we're taking a look at a more German-inspired recipe, and you can find the whole thing free on my blog or join my Patreon, where for $5 a month you can get print and e-version recipe cards for your collections. So this recipe really isn't hard at all. You're going to take 2 pieces of pork tenderloin. I cut them in half just because they were really big, and then you are going to salt and pepper them, generously slather them with some good mustard, and then just sear them in a pot. And what you're not gonna want to do is crowd them all in the same pot like I started doing here. Learn from my mistakes and try and do them in batches, because you want to get that really nice brown sear, which if you're flipping it too early too, you're definitely not gonna get. But then dice up your onion, and here's another mistake. Take the pork out and then add it in. Don't do what I did and just dump it all in there. After that, chop up some apples. I'm using a bunch of little ones, but I would say 2 medium ones is fine. And of course, mince your garlic and then add it all in there. Here's the part where we start building our gravy, which is some white wine, some thyme, bay leaf, and some beef broth or bouillon. Then add half of your apple, stir it up, and simmer for an hour and a half. With a dish like this with apple, raisins, cinnamon, all those kinds of things, they're all the things that sneak into especially a lot of holiday baked goods, and so I thought this would be the perfect meal to put all together, because my mom would always make some kind of boiled potatoes and then this red cabbage with apple in it, especially if she was making something like breakfast. Potatoes are easy, you literally just boil those, but the red cabbage we are going to put in here along with all of our apple, and then, as I was saying, some nutmeg, cinnamon, and clove. This is going to bring a lot of that energy and brightness, prosperity, protection, and love, and a good deal of luck too with that cabbage. So just mix all that up and then simmer that alongside the potatoes, and then get this slurry of flour and just enough water to moisten it together. It should be almost like a pancake batter. Once the pork is done and the potatoes are done, you're going to drain those potatoes and just set them aside, and then you're going to take that pork out and tent it with foil so it doesn't get cold. After cooking for an hour and a half, it is going to fall right apart. Then add in your slurry and let that gravy thicken. And about the pork itself, pig apparently was sacrificed to the god Freyr when they were doing Yuletide celebrations way back in the day. So if you follow Norse gods, I guess that's pretty cool too. Now in hindsight, I should have added this earlier, but some raisins in the gravy, so good. Raisins, or dried grapes, are anti-stress and bring a lot of fun and joy. And once all that's done, it's really just ladling that gravy on your plate, and then you have a hearty, delicious, sweet and tangy, and just wonderful meal for the holiday season. Enjoy!